All right, like I said, we're gonna go live again to finish up hopefully finish up the Kyosho Tomahawk kit build that we started yesterday. I do want to address one thing, and that one thing was in this little bag right here. Not sure if anybody knows what these are, but this morning I had a revelation before I guess kind of got up, and I thought to myself, man, those things sure do seem like some type of gasket or seal. So when you see the size of these, and then you think about the shocks, you realize that there's the possibility that, those might be the seals for the actual shocks so that they don't leak oil. And then this is where we left off on the instructions, right? So I was going over it, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm looking through the pages, kind of going backwards, and I'm like, did I literally forget to put the gaskets on? And then clearly, right here, it shows, right in the instruction manual, it shows those gaskets, and it's showing obviously the installation of that gasket or seal onto there, which it's not an O-ring, and I think possibly for me, that's probably why I didn't even think about it, because I didn't even check the actual, I'm going to call that the cap. So technically it's like the cap. So I didn't even check the cap to see if it was an O-ring on there. I just basically just tightened things down and it was good to go and nothing was leaking and we were good. So what we are going to do is, like I said, I am going to first address that right there, which is taking apart the shocks again, probably topping off the oil, and then installing those gaskets actually how they should be, which is kind of going to be a pain because now I've got to put the shocks... I got to put the shocks now in something so that they don't tip over as I hold other parts. So we'll just figure this out. So welcome to COVID and Coffee. This is part 4, but part 2 of the Kyosho Tomahawk kit build, which is an 80s or mid 80s. All the dogs are looking at me. See, this is the stuff that you guys don't get to see. All the dogs are looking at me because I'm talking. But anyways, like I was saying, this is that part 2 to the kit build. We're basically going to finish it up. There really isn't much left as far as assembly. I think we did a little bit more than 50%, and in reality, knowing that we put this part together, which is obviously this is the main part of this build. Obviously, we do have a little bit more as far as, front suspension and stuff like that to put together, but I think this was just, I guess you'd call this the more involved, but obviously we're taking technically 4 steps backwards because we have to address the shocks because I missed it, so like I always say, granted this isn't a video, but eventually it will be a video. If you're interested in watching this episode of COVID and Coffee, the Kyosho Part 2 build, let's just get into this thing and finish this thing up. The only thing I won't be doing, two parts of this build that I won't be doing, at least as of yet. I won't be painting this yet. This will be a separate kind of deal because I need to source the paint that I want to paint this body with. And if you're not using a paint that's designed for flexibility, if you paint like urethane bumpers and stuff like that on vehicles, if you don't paint with a flexible paint, which is what those special paints are supposed to be designed to do, so that if you get like an impact or a roll, that the paint is less apt to chip off. So when you see like car bodies that people have painted where the paint is chipping off from impacts, most of the time that's because it wasn't a paint that was designed for or designed with that flex agent that's actually inside the paint. And when you paint, at least this was the way it was back in the day when I used to, do some auto body, was you would actually have to add a flex additive, which sometimes actually changed very slightly the tint of the color, and I found that out on a Corvette. And yeah, so we had to paint that like 3 times. But anyways, so and then the other part that I won't be doing just yet is the electronics installation. I did actually install the electronics into my JRX Pro, which was that revival, the late 90s or early 2000s revival car that I did, which was a Lossy or a Losi JRX Pro that I basically parts bin built from Hanson Hobby in Hanson. They were friendly enough with me that, we just lined out, a bunch of parts, and, they gave me a great deal because, I was just younger and I didn't really have a lot of money, and they were appreciative for the fact that literally I had gone there since I discovered Hobby Shop. So it wasn't like it was given to me, but the price was definitely hard to beat. And it was all built by Pieces Parts. So I think it's a combination of a JRX2 and a JRX-T. I'm pretty sure that's what the parts were like a combination of when I built that. And obviously I supplied my own electronics and, all that stuff. But yeah, so let's just get back onto this build. I still got to do stuff. I don't even know what I look like right now. I probably look like garbage. So what I should have done, should have thrown this on. So, I keep forgetting where the camera is. Should have thrown this on so at least I look a little bit more presentable. All right, let's go finish this build, or at least partially finish. There's got to be adjustments and stuff. My wife actually, she just made a pot of coffee, so yes, it is going to be called COVID and Coffee for real. So today we're actually going to have some coffee. And I was thinking about shooting the camera up a little bit higher this time, maybe giving you a little bit different of an overview, I think. Good morning, Voodoo Truck and Chainsaw. What's going on, guy? So I've got this on this it's a tripod. I don't know if you saw what it was yesterday. So I'm still kind of adjusting things because I want everybody to be able to see stuff right. You know what I mean? So obviously I got my iPad here, so I'm still going to have to set up stuff. We'll be able to have the door open today because it's really nice out. Well, it's cold out, but at least we're not getting 100-mile-per-hour winds today. So I still got that setup process. I'm a little behind on the 10 o'clock thing. I think it was 10:01 or something like that. So I'm still kind of setting up. But I didn't want to not at least try to start the live on time. So I'm still setting up wires and doing all that stuff. But we will get to this build in a couple minutes. You can hear me. I'm trying to plug in the thing here. Somebody made a comment that seeing the iPad was giving them issues. I thought that was funny. So I think, I don't know, maybe something like that. I guess I'll try and, like I said, I'm still trying to keep things in frame and all that good stuff. That's not a door for you to come in. Colby, don't you dare. I didn't open that for you to come in. No. Stay outside. It's nice. Ah! These dogs freak out. All right. So I obviously want to see, I'm using the iPad. So I use the iPad so I can see comments and whether if this is in frame or not. So I have to go to library, my videos, and then click that, and then turn my volume down. Nice. Chris Wong. Victor Dimas. What's going on, guy? Dylan Davis is here. Chef. What's going on, guy? Riff Raff is here. RC Master. R German. Coffee. Oh, yeah. It's definitely coffee time. Chainsaw's here. Voodoo Truckin'. Mark G. What is happening, people? You can hear you're going to be hearing my dog barking in the background. So we'll start off with the clean. You know what? I don't know. Will we need a paper towel today? Yeah, we actually will. So like I said, I wanted to, address my my mess up with these shocks. And that's where I'm, 100% transparent. And literally, maybe that's why I didn't pay attention to this, because it's transparent. But we do have to crack these back open because I messed up. I didn't look at the instructions. I mean, I'm looking at the instructions, but I'm not paying attention to them. So we'll set those aside. I'm gonna grab a paper towel because obviously I need to. Hopefully, there's enough oil in there. I think there is.
Here.
Thank you, honey.
It's the box. It was out there this morning.
Oh, these are parts. Awesome.
Free?
Yeah.
I heard you.
All right. So she just gave me a couple paper towels. And let's see here. So I'm gonna see if this works. I want to get you like really, really in there so you can see my screw up or my mess up. There we go. I think that's in there. I think that's in frame. So yeah, we are gonna use the awesome Kyosho wrench that doesn't fit. Kind of does. It just barely slips on to the thing there. But I need my knife. You gotta be careful too with how these little seals are. They're way down in the bottom, so you want to make sure that you get that special chef's knife to be able to open up these packages. Because if you took the knife and just wasn't paying attention, obviously this knife right here, which is probably giving Chef a little OCD right now. He's like, dude, that knife is dirty. But this knife is definitely way sharper. And here's the crazy part too. Just from cutting open some of these bags, I'm already starting to get an odd little area on this knife that is no longer sharp. And granted, it's not like it's some professional knife like Chef would use, but I just think it's funny. So inside this little bag here, there should be some transparent pieces that you can probably barely see. And you have to be careful because these things, I mean, look at how transparently, like I can't even see these things. You guys probably can't even see them. See them on there? 1, 2, 3, 4. But we're gonna reopen this. I don't know. Will I be able to do this? I gotta figure out how to hold these shocks now. If I got a socket, I could probably hold it, but we'll just figure it out. Hey, hon. Hey, honey. All right, well, she's busy, so I gotta figure out something that will hold that. This is totally not the right thing to hold this, but it's the only thing I've got right now. Probably isn't even gonna work. Nah, it's gonna tip over. That's not gonna work. What a disaster. So make sure if you do this, you don't do it the way I did it. You gotta figure this out. This is where you need like 5 hands. So I'm just gonna take this little wrench. I'm gonna crack this open. And I obviously will have to put a couple more drops of oil back in here. Like I said, I wanted to show you. I wanted to show you that I point blank messed up. You know, I'm not afraid to say I messed up. Uh-oh. Did I literally lose one of those already? No way, did I? What? 1, 2, 3. I only see 3 now. Oh, there we go. See, look how transparent that is, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and fit that on. Oh man, come on. That's kind of difficult. Oh, maybe we'll be refilling all these shocks here. Yeah, I can use this to hold the shock. Hey, look at that. I got a shock holder. But the little O-ring thing, man, is so tiny. It's almost as if you have to screw it on, I think. Is it like screw it on? Oh, man. See, my fingers can't do this. Oh, no. There's oil getting everywhere. There we go. I think it's on now. Is it? Nope. Still not on. All right, how do you get this on? It's like it's not going over that plastic piece. Did I just break it? Did I just break it? No, it's still together. It's just trying to feed that thing on there. Very difficult. There we go. I think I got it that time. Boy, if that's a preview for the rest of them, that's a pain in the neck. That is literally a preview for the rest of them. Have you figured out what electronics to go with? I kind of have. I have donated electronics from a Habao vehicle that I have that I put in my 90s car that should work. So obviously it's going to be lipo with brushless, you know, the whole deal. I had a failed vehicle, so I'll put a couple drops in there. I had a failed RC car that I decided I'm using for parts. So we stripped it down. Everything was fine on it except the chassis. Not the chassis, the gearbox. Chassis is fine. There we go. Screw that into position. Now at least these shocks will be sealed. Little bits weeping out just like it should. Oh, Dumb. See, I'm not paying attention here. I'm trying to. You gotta crack that open a little bit, compress all the way down, make sure you get all the air out of there. A little bit too much shock fluid in there. Now we're good to go. Come on. What a disaster. Clean that up. Clean up this little collar because obviously now this little collar is oil soaked. Joss is here. What's going on, guy? Yeah, they're tiny, huh? Yeah, they're definitely tiny. Whoops. But those little transparent things there, man, they are very, very hard to see. So now at least it's sealed though, you know? And like I said, that was my idiot maneuver. I mean, the instructions are right there. I'm not the instruction type, man. I don't like instructions. But maybe I should because it would have saved me this whole step of pulling this stuff apart because I forgot to put these little gaskets on there. All right, let's see. Crack this bad boy open. Little shock holder. But these little seal things, man, you could lose these so easy. It does seem like they are some type of a plastic too. Almost wish I used an O-ring on these things. Holy smokes. Trying to get this on there, this is not fun at all. Man, just trying to like get that gasket thing all the way down to the bottom. It's finally there. Couple drops. This time I'll purge it nice and slow. Give it a crank. I think that's it. I hear you. It's my dog just letting people know she's here. Barbecue RC, what's going on, guy? I think I missed seeing you here yesterday. I wasn't paying enough attention. All right, so these shocks are all set now. Now I've got to pop these ones off. And this is totally gonna make it a pain in the neck now. Make sure you follow your instructions. Otherwise, you're gonna end up doing it like this. because now this roll bar is in the way. But those seals are so easy to lose, man. I'm chef, I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing as far as like when you hold this kit in your hand, man, with this chassis now being all Loctited and screwed together, this has got such a nice solid feel to it. Joe Daddy's Garage, what's going on, guy? Like I said yesterday, if you guys haven't had a chance to go check out this guy's channel, well, actually, you can't now, can you? You'll have to manually punch it in or just highlight his thing. But he's got a YouTube channel. You should go check it out. Definitely worth a look. If you're into any kind of automotive anything, that is a channel that you'd find very interesting. Especially if you're looking into, if you want to look into automotive restoration. There we go. Or if you want to find out how easy auto body is, go give his channel a check. You want to find out, you know, why auto body technicians get paid so much? That's why. Vince Vargas, what's going on, guy? 5T badges here. I had to take a couple steps backwards on this kit build because I got what my wife calls an epiphany this morning, and I realized that I never installed the seals on the shocks when I did it, and that's what made me realize, oh, that's what those clear plastic things, round looking things were. And I just, you know, like I said, I wanted to be transparent and, you know, look at your manual. Make sure you read the instructions because it says point blank right in the instructions that there's a seal. And I just overlooked it. Maybe I was thinking to myself that it was like already on and I didn't have to install it. But if you point blank look at the instructions, it shows installing those seals. And I didn't see it. I didn't see it because I didn't look. But I'm hoping to get this done today. The only thing that will not be done on this will obviously be the paint and the electronics. The paint, I've got to source a particular color paint that I want for this thing. I want to go with that Corvette Summer, which most of you probably don't know what Corvette Summer was, but there was a movie that was called, I think it was called Corvette Summer, and just some of the paint jobs that they had on the custom Corvettes that they had in that movie. Or whatever, the one car. I don't know what it was. Like I don't remember myself. I just remember that the customization and the paint jobs and then those vets from the late 70s into the 80s were just absolutely just insane with the modifications that they did as far as body mods, flares, paint jobs, heavy metal flake, which is what I want to go with for this car. Hey, Creeper, what's going on? How'd school go today?
I mean, I have work I need to do.
Yeah.
But that was just class.
Okay.
It was good.
Yeah, good. Is everything getting ironed out, like, as far as all your classes now? Like, you know what I mean? Less mess ups?
I did all of the work for one of my classes, so I'm done with it already.
Oh, all
even though
right.
I have 2 weeks left.
Yeah. Yeah, is that because you've been doing the extra work beyond because you've had time?
What do you mean by extra work?
Well, because obviously, like per day, you would be given work, and then you'd have.
Oh, so say like per week instead of doing one of the labs, I was doing 2 of them.
Okay, see, that's what I'm saying. So, in some respects, this online stuff is kind of good because you get to, if you put your nose to the grindstone, you get to just finish your work and be done way ahead of time, which is kind of cool.
For the most part, I mean, there are classes that assign assignments like.
See, you look fine today. Oh, you look nice today. Look at you, you're all dressed up and everything.
I'm not dressed up.
Oh my God.
I'm dressed because it's hot. That's not dressed up.
Well, you look dressed up. She doesn't want to be seen again. She gets all embarrassed.
I mean, there are some classes that assign an assignment and like you have to do it that week.
She has a YouTube channel, by the way.
Oh my God.
Again, she gets all embarrassed about it.
Probably nothing.
Oh, what's the name of this kit? It's called the Kyosho Tomahawk. What, Sam?
I said probably nothing anyone there would be interested in.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Don't say that. Don't sell yourself short. Just because you're short doesn't mean just because you're a midget. We get that term from what was it called? No, but what's it called though? What was that movie?
Oh, what is it?
Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the updated Sherlock Holmes movie with Iron Man in it? Again, that's worth a look for a movie. If you like Iron Man, you might like his character, Sherlock Holmes, in the Sherlock Holmes movies. So, here we go. There's the next shock. That's all set now. So now we will reinstall it into the car. Cap this off. Make sure you cap off your shock oils. Wipe off your fingers. Yeah, that movie is sweet. Yeah, he is a wicked good actor. And here's that crazy part. You guys all remember that he had like a major cocaine problem, which almost destroyed his career. But in the end, look at what it did to his career. It actually launched his career, I think, so much better than potentially what it was because of that issue. Now, I'm not telling people go become cocaine addicts because then your career and whatever you do will take off, because it just fortunately worked for him.
Yes, but he got past it. Let's not leave out the part where he stopped.
Right, he stopped.
You're like, he's a cocaine addict.
He's not a cocaine addict anymore. I don't mean that he's a coke addict right now. He's a recovering addict, which he, fully, fully recognized. See, she has a good way of finishing my sentences. Same with my wife. For those that cannot finish your sentences, sometimes the ones in your family can give you some assistance. So make sure I'm grabbing the right shock. A long one. Chuck, dude, you watched 3 hours? Oh my God. Well, what's funny is it's almost like watching a show, I guess. Because you can always turn it off, and do like important stuff and then come back to it. That's what I think is the cool part. It is like a kind of like, I guess, a TV show.
Or it can just be nice background noise.
Huh?
Or it can be background noise.
Right, background noise. So even even Joe Daddy knows. I don't know if he's still here, but I'll put on one of his videos and it's literally playing in the background as you're doing stuff. And what's great about that is that you can hear something that grabs your attention and you're like, oh, what is he doing? You know what I mean? And I like that. And plus, it helps out your fellow YouTuber, which is weird to think that that's actually what I am slowly becoming. Slowly becoming kind of a YouTuber. We've actually got some other projects that we've got to do, which I haven't figured out like how I was going to do the projects completely. So that stove, that's right there. The delay is terrible. So that stove right there, that's a Samsung stove, and I want to bring out like a couple of facts about that stove, and there's a diagnosis process to figure out why it's not properly working. And yeah, I'm going to get into it on the video, but half of that stove's not working, and it's the most foolish, even for a repairman, it's the most foolish thing that they tell you to do for diagnosis, where you literally just become a parts replacement technician. So you almost have to have all the parts to replace, and you go through a series of just replacing parts because there's no way to test it. I mean, maybe from the factory there's something that they could do to test it, but as far as a repairman goes, it's literally parts replacement. You start off with one part first. If that doesn't fix the like literally, this is what it says in that little in the little manual that's inside every appliance. So like inside all your major appliances, so like your refrigerator, your stoves, your washers, your dryers, they all have that packet that's in an envelope that says "Do not throw away." That basically it gives the repairman technically the schematics. It gives them diagnostic codes. It gives them like all kinds of stuff. And literally you just become a parts replacement like person. And I feel like it's so foolish. So what I did is I just used some thought, and I'm bypassing one of the steps, which I hope it doesn't bite me in the butt. And then we've got to work on my daughter's 2004 Ford Ranger. The front bumper's rotting. We bought a new bumper for it, and I'm going to have her replace it. She also has to do an oil change on her truck. She always does her oil changes anyway, but we've got to change the oil in her truck. So that's going to be, like a video, not necessarily for you guys to watch, but it's a video to put out there so that it shows, because it's like this stigma that some people for some reason still believe that girls can't do it. And you're totally wrong, because my mother used to race New England Dragway. So you want to talk about doing everything right. We'll go into that. I've gone into that before, but so she's got to do that. And then she's also has to do the rear brakes on her truck. So it's obviously drum brakes in the rear for a 04 Ford Ranger. So she's going to do the brakes. We're going to go through all the steps. She's going to be the one doing it. Obviously, I'm going to be there, assisting, because she knows a certain amount of like what you call basics. And sometimes that's all you need, along with maybe a video to hopefully get you by. Now, I always do disclaimers in my videos, especially when it comes to mechanics, whatever, is that I do all the mechanics on everything that I've got. So, but that's because I know how to do it. Now, when you take that into your own hands, you have to fully know that if you've never been there before, you could ruin something. And you really need to pay attention to specs, torquing things, using the right hardware. That's why I recommend recording something. So if you're going to tackle, let's say you're going to tackle replacing disc pads on a brake system. That's one of the most easiest things to do. But if you take your device and record your whole process, if you get messed up while you're reassembling, you literally get to play back your video so that you can see, oh, that bolt went there. Oh, that was that bolt, not that bolt. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, let's just get back to this build. You don't need to hear me rambling on. YouTuber. Yeah, I know, guy. It's weird. It's definitely weird, man. But I do have to say I really am enjoying this. It's fun. It's actually fun. You know what I mean? Takes a certain individual to get in. But you know what, though, Vince, is that you can learn that just like anything. I mean, if everything is yeah. Granted, some people have a mechanical ability sometimes, like just natural. But I mean, anything can be learned. Anything can be learned. Anything can be taught. What is that Iron Man song that he plays when he's working on his stuff? That could be a cool background music for your build. The only thing though is that I'd get a copyright hit. I'd love to play music in the background. You kidding me? Yes, sir. I think overnight I made it. It broke over that 3,000 something, and I actually got a notice from YouTube that additional things have been opened up. So I guess apparently when you get past that 3,000 sub count, they open up more Easter eggs. John Wick, what's going on, guy? Love the area this kit came. What? Love the area this kit came out of. Bring on. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely like this retro stuff right here. It definitely is cool. I really am. As this thing is coming together, I'm really appreciating, the older tech, the older, way of doing things. Like, look at these rear swing arms. Do you know what I mean? When you look at the front suspension, look at the front suspension, like, it's got like multi-articulating, twisty, you know what I mean? It's like bouncing up and down, and I don't know. It's definitely cool. Every once in a while, I don't catch it all the time, but every once in a while I have to approve a comment, and I think it's YouTube keeping the channel safe. There's been a bunch of changes in YouTube, and one of the things, I don't know if you guys have noticed, was that you can no longer, like, watch, when I click on somebody, like I'm going to click on Chuck Hall right now, and normally, if I clicked on his thing, it would take me to, I could have the option of going to his channel. Now all it says is report, remove, timeout, hide user, or add as a moderator. So that's junk that YouTube took that option away for everybody to be able to click on, like, what happens if I click on Chef? Yeah, see what I mean? Chef's a moderator. And that's what's messed up. So anyways, can you get me the manual that's over there, please? Thank you. You're not on camera, don't worry. Thank you, sweetie. All right, so where we had left off, obviously we had built all this. We had to backtrack to technically step 11. So where were we? We were here, and we left off right here. So we left off on open bag D, step 19 was where we stopped. And that's all. I think was that also when I figured out that they actually gave me thread lock? I can't remember. I just remember going, oh, that's what that is. They actually did give me thread lock. But everything on this is effectively thread locked except for stuff that's nylock. And then stuff that's in plastic obviously isn't. So now the process of where we are now is doing the upper tie rod ends, or upper tie rods. And when I had this bowl of stuff here, I was questioning, what the heck are these things? Like, I was like, what the heck? What could that be as far as a part? And that's when I realized, when I got to this page right here, it's actually a tool for twisting the rod ends. And I don't remember them giving any tools. I don't remember in my RC10 that they gave tools to put together rod ends. I'm pretty sure I had to use screwdrivers. So that's pretty good that Kyosho gave that. So we're obviously going to need different rod ends. We got to do it by 2. So that's 2 of these and 2 of these. So you just go to your rod end tree and just break off, basically, I guess break off all these rod ends, right? So we'll break off all these rod ends. I'll try to rod end wrenches are nice. Yeah, just screwdrivers. You haven't published a video yet? Oh, yeah, I haven't published a video either. What are you talking about? Same options, but they took away. Yeah, they took away the go-to channel option. That's just wrong. You also can't put links anymore. So if I wanted to link you guys, like when you reference something, let's say, oh, you should go check out, a channel. Uh-oh, what happened here? Ah, the Loctite. So when I put the Loctite in there, the Loctite actually Loctited that part. Because I'm pretty sure that's supposed to move. So I think I'm going to have to back that off a touch. Yeah, the Loctite actually must have got inside the joint because I swear I remember this being able to turn yesterday. Oh yeah, look at that. The Loctited. So I'm just going to back that off a touch. There we go. I was wondering why some of it wasn't turning. But when I put Loctite in that hole, obviously when I screwed this down, the Loctite Loctited the nut to the actual the steering arm. So it's good now. But I guess that's something to keep in mind. If you're going to Loctite that piece, make sure you're not liberal with the Loctite. Yes, I said the word liberal. So I have found that these little nippers right here, these nippers work great for breaking off or getting rid of the little pieces that are from the tree. So we'll just snip these pieces off. Just make sure you don't actually snip the rod end in half, because that could be very easy to do, like I almost just did. The reason they did it is bots that try to get you to go to their channel. Oh, see, that's junk. See, it's always somebody that's going to ruin something. That's what I hate. That's literally what I hate about this planet, is the fact that you just got crappy people out there that just are not cool. I was obviously using it to steer people to like appropriate sites. So I almost feel like it. I think, well, Gus, here's the thing though. I don't think, I know what you're saying, but I don't think on my channel, I think I had commenters were not able to post websites other than I think you guys. So I think you guys that have the wrenches, you guys were able to post sites, but nobody else could, just in case we had somebody fake come on here and start posting junk that was inappropriate, which nobody on here is fake. Or are you? So there's our rod ends. We're not going to brush that onto the floor. I'm not brushing it onto the floor. See? I brushed it into my hand so my wife doesn't get upset. Although I would have vacuumed it anyway, which I probably will. So here's our rod ends. Now we need the rods, which... Oh, wait a minute. Am I doing this wrong? No. What are these rods? Wait a minute. Yeah, two of those. Oh, there we go. Never mind. Two of those. The little rod end tools that they got there. And put it on by hand here. Make sure it's kind of as straight as you can, I guess. We use these little tools here. Just doesn't really fit onto it. Yeah, I don't I don't like these little tools. The screwdriver is definitely better. You just jam the screwdriver in there and you just twist it on. Not going to use those tools. We don't need them. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that I have, or at least try to have an even amount of threads revealed, left to right, which, man, that's a fine thread. It's crazy. It looks like it's going on pretty even. So, and then they want you to measure, which I'm guessing this is literally the measurement that you need. So you probably should be able to take your rod end and put it right up against there and get the exact measurement that you want, which is exactly right. I don't remember being able to do that. So put that up against there, a couple more turns. And almost there. A couple more turns. Jeez. There we go. Perfect. You can see it fits right in there. So that 44 millimeters in between for that piece right there. So now we got to do that 3 more times. So this is where I can actually look at, Chef. Chef, you retracted a message, guy. What happened? Just ripped through a 5,000 milliamp 3S in your Outcast before you came on. Nice guy. You can't find a DB Pro anywhere in the UK. You know, I think even we're having problems like that, finding stuff. I know some people have been trying to find kaijus and they can't find them. You were seeing if mods, oh yeah, and they can't, right? Because I know even I can't. I tried to post the teamredcatshop.com and it wouldn't let me post it. Life of Coach, what's going on, guy? Hey, you're reminding me. COVID and coffee, you know it, man. You're reminding me. I've got coffee just sitting there. I should probably grab some. You can post links? I can't. Chef, post up teamredcapshop.com if you can. How come I can't? That's not cool. Are you kidding me? Can I click it? No way. All right. See, Chef, I'm being a goon. Now I know why I can't post it. I can't post it because I'm on here as a guest, aren't I? That's why. And I think this just froze. Did this freeze? Yeah, it did. That's why. I just realized it. It's because I'm a guest on my own live. I was trying a couple of times on that live to post the Team Red Cat shop. Thank you for that, Chef. Thanks for pointing out my error. Oh my goodness. Yep. I got a lot of them. So now this one, the shorter one, they want 13 millimeters in between, end to end on the these rods. And it looks like this one's not screwing in evenly. And that's just my OCD. I have to have stuff like this, like it has to be screwed in even. Otherwise I don't know. It's something that just doesn't escape my mind. You signed in as you thought. Yeah. So it shouldn't matter, guy? I don't know. The thing is, though, is I signed in as a guest on here, though. And I guess I'm technically I'm not a wrench, right? Wait a minute. All right, let's see. How did you do the link, Chef? Did you actually literally have to type in the HTTPS thing? All right, I'm going to try it. HTTPS. Which way does the backslash go? Is it back? HTTPS. See, I don't even know how to do this. I got to look at his. And then it's that semicolon thing. That, right? And then / TEAM Red Cat Shop.com. TeamRedCatShop.com. And if I hit send? Oh, no. Is that clickable? No, it's not clickable. Yeah, see, Gus is not clickable. So you can't click Gus's. So did I spell it wrong? You know what's crazy, though, is before all I had to type in was teamredcatshop.com, and it was automatic. HTTPS / oh, www. Are you kidding me? They made it harder to do links then, because that's not the way it was before. The way it was before is all I literally had to do is just type in the Red Cat thing, and it was fine. That's junk. You ordered from Team Red Cat Shop on eBay? Nice. It's definitely a good company. Their prices are great. They're actually cheaper than the actual Red Cat store, which is awesome. And he's very the guy that runs it or owns it, he's very, very responsive. At least he has always been with me. So that's why when I come across, a company that, I appreciate, of course I'm going to say, hey, you need your stuff, just go right to them. Oh, yeah, see, Gus was able to do it. All right. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thank you, guys. Oops. And it also pauses it. Did I make that one right? No, that one still needs to be turned in. So this one, they want 13 millimeters. Easy peasy. A couple more twists. Surprisingly, these rod ends are going in fairly evenly. It's like a half a twist. There we go. Perfect. You just copy and pasted it? Yeah. And there we go. Links are all set. So these kind of are a pain in the neck to use. I don't know. I guess if you can't grip these, maybe these tools are all right, but they don't really like slide on. It would be nice if they captured it, but it doesn't actually capture it. So, yeah, these for me, these don't really work. All right, so now we're done with step 20. So that was just assembling rod ends and times 2. So I did pay attention this time. So now we are off to step 21, which is, looks like it's assembling the front suspension. So we're going to be using those rod ends that we just made, both the 2 small ones and the 2 big ones. Front shocks. We're going to need parts from this little tray here, which are obviously these parts here. We're going to need those for the shocks. We're going to obviously need shocks. And then we're going to need a nylock to obviously install the shock. And yeah, that's it. I think. And then we'll be installing the rod ends onto the steering knuckles and then installing it into that center servo saver. And it says, exclamation point, do not over tighten. So do not over tighten those because you can actually crush that tiny little shock ball end piece. Shock ball, whatever you want to call it. So we'll get to the front end here. The lag is way behind. All right. So there is a left and a right. There is a left and a right on this, like what we saw. So I'm going to do it this way. And one of them says left and the other one says right. So which is which here? Somewhere I thought it said left and right. Maybe it didn't. I thought these said left and right. Well, either way, just look at the picture. So that goes like that. So it's this piece with the ball end going down towards the bottom. And that's how that's going to be installed right onto that little rod thing right here. So just like that. This side obviously goes on the opposite side. And then shocks will be installed. So I'll put our little pieces on. A little shock pivot balls. Shock pivot ball. Why don't I use the right words, right? I want that out towards the end there. So I think I'm going to install this first. Make it easier. So install that onto there. It's a little tight. Then slide this on. Then put that on like that. What stops this from coming off? I don't even know. And then we take am I missing something here? I am missing something, so I'm missing a step. See, I'm already missing a step here. All right. So these pieces right here, these get installed in here like this. The only thing it's not showing is it's not really showing, oh, that's what the left and right was. This piece says left and right. There we go. So now we install it like that. That makes more sense. All right. Put the shock back on. Install this little swing arm piece here. Put the shock on there. And then attach the smaller little arm to go from here to here, like that. And then this piece gets installed on here, and that goes to the servo saver, which I'm going to use, I want to put something right on the bottom there. Somehow to, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to put too much stress on that servo saver. So how do I do this? Like that. There you go. Check that out. There must be some kind of collar that goes on the end here. It's not showing anything yet. It's not showing anything that kind of goes on that end to keep that suspension arm on, because obviously right now with the way it is, it would just fly off. So what goes on the end there? All right, well, let's just throw the other side on. Put this piece onto here. Gotta install this little piece here with that little like horn piece facing out, right? Right. Like that. Or let's put this on. Now that piece is facing out, right? Right. So face that piece out. Throw it on there. Put the shock into place. Attach the little link arm, which still has a little bit of a nub on there. Go snap that. All right, so there we go. That's together. Got the other suspension arm. Move this out of the way. Attach this onto there. That onto there. Here we go. So here we go, front suspension. Pretty close to almost being on. But you gotta figure out what's going on with those pieces. It's like it needs like some kind of collars or something. Now we're gonna attach the nylocks onto the upper shock shaft here, or whatever you want to call it, shock mounting piece. You can use that wrench that came with it. Remember, it said don't over tighten. That'll be very, very easy to do. As soon as you feel resistance, there'll be two types of resistance. So the first resistance you'll feel is where the nylock part of that nut starts. And you can do that by finger. Right now, that's like hitting the nylock. And then as you're turning the wrench, you can feel it getting a little tight, and then it will get to a point of where you can feel it stops. Right there. And then just don't go any further. Oh, all right. So right there. There's a giant hole right there and right there. Does that mean I missed a step? Nope. So we're there. Doesn't say anything yet. So now we finished step 21. Now we can move over to step 22, which is installing the set screws. And it's giving you some pretty specific information here. As far as, I guess, adjusting your suspensions, your front suspensions. It's almost like adjusting your, that's not really adjusting your toe or camber, but that's like, or caster. You want 3 to 4 millimeters between the chassis and something. They're not being really specific. 3 to 4, okay. So what they're showing, wish I had a pointer. They're showing 3 to 4 inches. 3 to 4 millimeters between where these arms contact the frame. So you can adjust this up so that as this is turning, because there's obviously a low point, I believe there's like a low point on this. So I'm going to do this on a flat surface. And you can see the difference. And then obviously it also makes it so, is that supposed to be flush? So this is something that they're not pointing out other than showing you, I guess, visually. So when you do lock down these pieces with that set screw, it looks like they're making it so you have the arm almost out to the very end of it. When you look at it, it's got like a little taper on it. See how the piece, this rod here, this black rod has like a little taper? So it looks like they're saying, bring it out to like, so you just start to see that taper disappear, and then go ahead and take your set screw, throw your set screw in, make sure your steering arm link is not contacting the frame, and I think it's relaxed neutral position. So we'll put this, I'm actually behind the camera now. So we'll put that in its neutral position, like that. And I think you just want to make sure you've just got clearance in between the frame and that. Make sure these arms are all the way out to where that taper just starts to get flat on both the left and right side. I hope I'm not blowing out the mic by like breathing right into it behind it. So something along those lines right there. And then in here, you got the massive set screws, which are these that one right there, and that one right there. And that's what this big Allen wrench is for. I'm going to take my Loctite. And normally I put Loctite in the holes like this. So I'll just do like a little, well, maybe not. Maybe this time what I'll do is I'll Loctite the actual screw. I'll Loctite right here, like that. And I'll just install it just to where it hits, so that I still have some movement. So it just touched. Put a little bit more Loctite on here. Right like that. I think Earl right now, if Earl was on here, Earl would be in his glory because my wife just turned the dryer on. All right, so we're there. We got the same amount of reveal on this right side as we do pretty close to the left side. It's not like exact, but I think it's close enough. Just something like that. And then make sure, that's why I'm sitting this flat, because obviously this is a flat surface. We know we're flat on the back here. We're flat on this front suspension part. So I think it's making it so I can evenly give that clearance. Whoop, too much. So I'm going to go just about there. And remember, these are aluminum. Don't overcrank these. I think that's about it. So, clearance-wise, when you sight that down that way, I think that looks pretty good. Now what I want to do is I just want to move this. Yep, zero interference. See there? No interference at all. So I think that's a job well done right there. Now obviously, always clean off your extra Loctite. There we go.
Goldie, Daisy, come on.
Perfect.
Come on, Goldie.
All right, RC Master, it's good seeing you, man. Thanks for dropping in. I'm just finally getting to this. Time to go to lunch. Yeah, it's pretty close. All right, James Beeman. Sorry I didn't see that you were here either. At least I don't think I did. When, if I get my summit, I'll need to learn all that.
Come on. No, so-
Earl is here. What's going on, guy? Earl, can you hear the dryer in the background? I swear it's going. All right, so we are now finished with step 22 was just adjusting the technically adjusting the suspension so that the steering rods don't contact the frame, which says 3 to 4 millimeters. I think we're pretty much there, just by eye. Kept the chassis flat. You all saw that. Just kept it flat and just kind of pressed down and then just give those 2 set screws a little bit of a tighten. So now we can go ahead and install the front bumper, which was my pointing device. Now it'll be pretty easy. It's just 2 screws and a front bumper. Again, go to your little screw thing here. Make sure you get those flat tapered screws. And I'm going to flip this upside down. You say, thought I was going to flip it upside down. I'm going to take a little Loctite, throw it in those holes. I'm going to kind of be semi-prepared this time. I'm going to put a screw on there. It's going to take a little dab of Loctite. Just throw it in that hole. Throw it in that hole. Of course, I said I was going to have that screw ready. It's harder doing this on camera than it looks, I bet. Because I'm like in a weird position trying to try to keep this in frame. Tighten it down. We're dealing with plastic, so pretty much just going to bring it to a point of where I feel it's not going to crush the plastic. Just like that. And there we go. There's no Loctite to clean up this time. So that works nice. All right, so step 23. Step 23 is all set now. It was literally just installing 2 screws with a plastic bumper or flexible bumper. Now it looks like we might be getting involved with a standoffs and maybe a chassis plate. So we're going to need 2 of these kind of cap screws right here. It says something about marking is on left side. So this piece, they've got a little dot. See the dot on there? There's a little indent showing you which way to position this, because obviously while these holes right here are all symmetrically placed, that hole is not, and neither is that. So we've got a slotted hole right there, which looks like it might be for some type of movement of something. Not quite sure what that hole is for, but obviously it's for alignment. So if you installed it this way, you screwed yourself. So we've got the chassis right here. Yeah, see, it talks about a hole direction. It looks like we're going to need those these things, these little metal standoff pieces. And they have holes in them. See how there's like a hole inside the piece? So they want those holes lined up like that, which probably would have been nice if I had like some kind of a rod to line them up, but it probably isn't really that particular. There's also something else right here that is getting installed. So whatever that is these plastic pieces right here. So it looks like what this does is this wraps around and clamps onto the chassis, where this actually bolts onto the chassis. So that kind of seems a little funky. What is the purpose of that? Why wouldn't it be directly bolted to the chassis? It's not like it flexes. So for now, that's an unknown. Not sure why that is saying what it is. Anyways, we'll do what it says. So you got to take these little pieces off of here, off your little Christmas tree thing, whatever you want to call it. Why do you almost talk yourself out of the... You know what's... I thought Earl had said that... didn't Earl say that the summit, they were no longer going to make it? Like, I think he said, like, in a year, within a year's time, I think he said something about they were just going to stop the summit, right? Earl, isn't that what you said? Guy is smoking something. What am I smoking? Why? Because I said Earl said something about them stopping the summit? Wasn't Chef just talking about a summit? I think Chef was talking. I'm not smoking nothing yet. Summit is on the way out the door. Oh, Chuck said it. I don't know. I don't know what I saw. All right. So, yeah. We need these pieces. We need 4 cap screws, which looks like... Obviously, we got longer cap screws here, then shorter cap screws going through that rear section, and the longer ones are going through the front because they're going through... They're not even going through the chassis, but they're going through those little plastic things. Why is that like that? I don't understand. It doesn't seem to make sense here. Why do it like that? I don't know. I don't get why they're doing that. So that piece definitely goes on like that. These little plastic things go like this. So I think these are supposed to go on the chassis first. Just seems like you're asking for trouble here. All right, that piece like that. This piece like this, I think. Yeah. So that like that. That doesn't make no sense. Whatever. All right, so I'm just going to do what it says. Doesn't seem like there's any way around it. So I take just, again, just take a little bit of Loctite. Oh, I should probably find the screws first. So inside this tray, we've got the longer screws, which it's the only 2 cap screws left. And then the shorter ones, the only 2 of those left. We've got some long set screws. We've got a couple of other pieces here. We got these standoff pieces, which obviously are going to go on top of here, making sure that this hole is in line with line of sight to that hole over there. So we'll slide this close to position, put a little drip of Loctite there, a little like there. That didn't even go inside. We'll slide this into place. Take one of those long screws, just dump it in there. Hopefully it'll find its way out. And then the Allen wrench. And we'll screw that into position. Did I put the wrong one in? I did. All right, so pay attention here. I just put the wrong screw in the wrong thing here. It's not the longer screw, it's the shorter screw. That makes more sense. Whoops. There we go. And then slide these little plastic, whatever the heck they are, into place. It's almost like it's giving the servo like suspension. Maybe that's what it's doing. Maybe it's a way of giving the servo like a way out of damage or something. That screw is definitely not going in. Come on, get in there. Man, how did we do this like long time ago when all this is all we had? Come on. Can't get it in there. Well, it's giving this actual flexibility. You can see it's got movement. I don't understand it. I can't apply enough pressure to screw it into the plastic. There we go. Back in the day, when stuff like this didn't matter, because you just used whatever tools you had. I don't know why it's got these plastic straps. I really don't. I would like to have seen it. I thought you'd think you'd want to see it bolted down to the chassis, right? This whole plate, which is obviously a mount for the servo. How are your fingers feeling? Oh, they're feeling great, guy. Like I said, I literally just wanted to build this, you know, as it came out. As it came out of the box. Forcing myself here. Like trying to get this to screw into that plastic is a joke. Almost ready to go down and get my driver. I'm telling you, I'm like 2 seconds away from going downstairs to get my driver. But I can't. I want to do this like the way you're supposed to. Come on, get in there. There we go. I think it's getting there. Nope. All right. How the heck did we do this? Come on. It's like watch there be no hole on the other side, and that's why it's not screwing, because it's not screwing into nothing. Oh my God. Like I'm really forcing this thing. I feel like this I'm gonna break something here. I feel like, come on, like I'm pushing down like hard too. Come on. Oh my God. This is killing me. I just can't do it. Oh no. All right. Now it's time to we'll get instead of using my finger, maybe we'll try it like that. And then I can at least keep the wrench. Oh, look at that. Is that literally working? It is, I think. Hey, I think I got it. All right. I just had to use the knife. Whenever I think of a knife, I think of anybody ever see The Golden Child with Eddie Murphy? I say, I want the knife, please. All right, we did it. Nice. All right, there we go. So I really don't know why those plastic things are there. That doesn't make any sense to me. Does that make any sense to you guys? Like, why is that there? I don't get it. It's not like it definitely doesn't give it any suspension. I was thinking for some reason, maybe the plastic, like, I don't know, moved, but it doesn't. So now we need to make sure that we rotate these so that they are faced towards each other. And both holes are the same, like, size, so it's not going to matter. So we got that facing that way. Get our wrench in there. Give it a crank. I think that's pretty straight. Looks like it's pretty much facing the other one. We'll do the same thing with this one. The Allen wrench in there. My dogs are talking. I don't know who they're talking to, but put the Allen wrench in there. Pretty much make sure it is faced towards the other one. It would be nice if there was a rod that you could have put through. I don't know what these are actually for, but they're for something. All right. So we're finished with this step. Now we've got to move on to those little standoffs, which were those pieces right there towards the back. So there are a couple more standoff pieces, which now I understand what those holes were for. So on this, I'm going to put a healthy drop on the top of each one of these. That way, as I screw this down, you can see it's got a much fatter end at the bottom. Both top and bottom of this thing are threaded. Screw those down. Do I need a gasket? I do. Check it out. I almost messed up. So it's not a gasket. It's whatever these little aluminum pieces are, I think. It's the only thing left in the tray that looks like a circle. So right there, those little pieces right there, I almost missed that. Those pieces. So we'll try this again. With that on, put that on. I'll do another little drop, another little drop. And then we'll take these and throw these on. Does this sound nice outside? How's everybody's weather, by the way? We lost power last night for a good amount of time. Probably from like around 8 o'clock, I think, maybe. 8 o'clock till maybe after midnight, I think we got the power back. Now, it's not saying that these are supposed to be facing in any direction, although when it is screwed down, it does have it so it looks like it's facing that way, but I don't think it matters. So we'll just torque those down. Does that literally say 5.5 turns? Oh, no, it says 5.5. All right. 5.5. Just crank it tight. Crank it tight. Make sure you wipe off your excess. Don't need any of that blue junk sitting on there. All right. Perfect. So we've got a little bit of blue junk on here we got to wipe off. A little bit more on this post. So obviously that's prepping for this piece right here to be installed. That's what that's for. So that looks like battery straps. So this looks like it's looks like the battery's going to go here. And maybe the ESC sits in this pocket or something. And then the servo, I don't know. Anyway, so this is when you would start to install some more electronics. Like obviously we would have installed the motor, which we didn't because we're just not doing that yet. Now they want us to install the servo. We don't have one, but they do have the servo blocks to install, which obviously you know take the servo and slide it on and it installs onto those blocks. So we're going to be installing those blocks right there. These almost look like body mounts or something. I'm not sure what those are. It's definitely not body mounts. At least I don't think it is. Nah, I don't know what that is. So we're going to be installing those pieces there with set screws. So we got to find those pieces, which are that. This gets a set screw. It almost looks like it should be metal, but yeah, it's definitely, I don't think it is. I'm going to have to search the parts bags, find out exactly what that piece is right there. Probably plastic. It's not saying. But for the servo blocks, it's telling you which way. It says pay attention. Looks like it has arrows on those little blocks, the standoffs for the servo. I can see one is adjustable in and out. That is why that was there. And then obviously the solid hole. And it takes a coarse thread screw, which is, you know, we've got 4 coarse thread screws in here. 2 of them would be for the servo, so we'll keep those aside. And then 2 of them would be for the servo standoffs, which we have to find those. And those are in this bag right here. You can see them, they're right there. So open this bag. Get out this little tree here. So you obviously see it's those pieces right there. So we'll snap these off. We'll just clean them up a little bit. Just get those little nubs off. Yeah, cruising stuff. Isn't that garbage? Not being able to click on anything? you could click on links. So Chef, we figured out that Chef or whoever is a mod can post links, but things have definitely changed. It's got to have something to do too with that copper stuff. It really does. Think about it. So on here, it actually does have arrows. So I don't know if you can see that, but the arrows are facing, you probably can't even see them. There's arrows facing up right now, and those arrows need to be facing towards the servo. So they're going to go like that. I'm not sure why, but it just tells you that's how you're supposed to do it. So we'll set those aside like that. Put that screw through here. Going down. And just make sure that that's facing the right way. I don't think this Allen wrench is liking me too much. Well, maybe my fingers aren't liking the Allen wrench anymore. Seems like the Allen wrench is starting to get stripped. Oh, man. All right. So that's not the way that's supposed to be installed. So I'll give it a crank. Make it so that it's facing the direction of the servo. Make sure it's straight before we give it a crank. Which this is when having the servo would probably make sense. But I'm just going to try and hold it in position while I tighten this. And of course it turned. But that's why we have these super awesome Harbor Freight tools. So we can turn things and align things the way they're supposed to be. That looks pretty close to being straight. It's my OCD, man, that literally have to have stuff like super straight. So we'll throw this one on here. This is the adjustable one. Chef, what motor and ESC servo? I don't know. I'm open to suggestions if anybody wants to suggest, but for now, I'm just going to put a... what KV motor is that? I've got a KV motor that I think is a 34... I think it's a 3400 kV with a 60 amp ESC is what I believe I'm going to go with. And the only reason why I'm going with that is because it's a donated electronic system, servo, everything. Everything is donated from a failed RC car that I had as a test. So I'm just going to basically use that. So servo standoff, that's all set. Sorry, did somebody ask that? See, that's where it's nice because Chef is able to put the @ symbol and my name and it pops up. And obviously it catches your eye because obviously that meant he was trying to ask a question. Hobbywing 1080s are nice with the card. Just for a kit build, I may end up getting to keep my... What, like just any kit? Yeah, dude, get any kit now. This thing's awesome, though. This is retro, and I'm liking it. Parts are getting hard to find because of the stuff, yeah. Oh, somebody asked twice. I'm sorry to whoever I missed. Thank you, Chef, for doing that, man. All right. So that's all set. So installed those. We didn't need these two screws here. We did install, obviously, like the servo standoffs. Now we got to install whatever those pieces are right there, which are on this tree right here. It's got one smaller hole, which looks like it's for a body clip, and then one bigger hole down here, which obviously is for that long, so it's for that long set screw. Just to put inside these standoffs that are on the frame. So make sure we put that in like that. That piece in there. And obviously no thread lock, because we don't need thread lock on this. But we do need a smaller Allen wrench than the one I was just trying to use. And on the picture, it's telling you to have it 0.5 millimeters set in. So I'm just assuming you just basically make sure it's even on both sides. Yeah, pretty much even on both sides. So both the outside and the inside, that 0.5 is just to make sure that it's seated all the way in. So that's that. So those pieces are installed. Which again, I'm not really sure why that's there. So it looks like I didn't miss any steps now. Now I'm kind of trying to pay a little bit better attention, maybe. Now we can turn the page. We're done with 24 and 25. We can now move on to the last step of bag D, which is installing the upper deck, which is a standard size sideways battery mount, which then it also talks about tape. Why do I need to put tape on? What are you talking about, tape? What the hell's the tape for? What? Option straight battery mount? Oh! So if I want to do a sideways battery or a... So if I want to run my battery straight this way or if I want to go sideways. So what do I want to do? It looks like you have to install this plate no matter what. I'm not really sure why this... Why does that piece have to even be installed? Good question. Why does that piece need to even be installed? So, yeah, I don't know. I thought that was a sunroof. So here's the optional mount for whether if you're going to go with a battery this way, which I think, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, anyways, no matter what. So that plate goes on like this, right? Which way does this go on? This way? So on this instruction, all right, so obviously the taper, the countersunk holes are facing up. So I don't know if I should install that other piece. But I don't understand why you need tape. I'm sorry, I just don't get it. Why do you need to install a piece with tape on it? And I don't even see the piece either. Oops. Where is the piece? Is this it? Oh, this is it. So here's the piece that they're saying to install with tape. So you install it here. It actually has like a track or something that it slides in, but they're telling you to install it with tape. Like, why? To keep it in? I don't even know what that piece is for. See attached tape, but it's not saying why. Maybe this is why you're supposed to read ahead. Nah, this isn't making sense to me here. So the battery mounts underneath. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. So that's not maybe somebody in the comments knows. For a short pack. Ah, okay. See, all I had to do was just look in the comments. See you later, Gus, man. Thank you for coming by. We'll be here all day, brother. Don't forget to give a check on Gus's Custom Creations channel if you haven't already. He just put a video out there yesterday about that kaiju mod. He did a good job. All right. Well, I don't. Well, Earl. Okay, Earl. One of the things, obviously, now that you're here, Earl, I did a. I thought about. Thing is, though, is like, if that's going like that, right? How do you install the pack? Oh, it installs like a tray or something. I think I'm getting it. So I should install this anyway because it's going to give me a spot to mount my it's going to give me optional mounting spots anyway. So I guess I should install this piece anyway. I really don't understand why they're talking about putting tape on there, other than the fact that I don't know. I don't get it. Your axial had a long tray or a special short pack tray, short pack you could buy? All right. Well, I'm going to install this anyway, only because, come on, what the heck? You see how many times I'm making this go? It's just literally not letting go. Man, you want to talk about some flex? Could probably use these pieces as skid protection. Just gotta snip it off. All right. And that leaves it so there's nothing to nip off. That's actually not too bad. Oops. Good enough. All right. So I should install these pieces first, I guess. I get it. I get it, Earl. Thank you very much, sir. Point blank, install it no matter what. Because it just makes more sense, because now I'm making it so I can install my electronics whenever I do that. Did I put in the wrong screws? Oh. Supposed to put nylocks on the back side of here. So I think you should probably install these nylocks into here first. Push them into place. Pretty sure they're nylocks, right? Yeah, nylocks. So I'm going to push those nylocks into those little spots. Hopefully the right way. Something like that. Then we can install this tray. Then we can install the screws. Oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. I'm wondering why the carbon fiber just cracked or made a crunch. Because I'm supposed to be going this way. Yeah. Now that actually was going to fit. All right. There we go. That's much better. Cool. Still don't know why that's taped. I feel like I don't want to listen to why they're saying tape it. Yeah, so I don't know. So it looks like if you're doing the optional straight mount battery, it looks like it's not showing that piece taped in place. So I don't really know why. And I'm not sure where the tape is that they're talking about. Tape is probably in the sticker bag, maybe, because there's nothing in there. That's just a spare parts bag. I don't remember seeing any tape. This piece obviously gets installed like this. All right, I think I see why. So if I was installing... All right. So I think if I was installing a battery pack going sideways, that's why this piece is getting taped in place. Because you can't have this piece taped in place if you're also using this. Because now it interferes with the placement. So that's why that piece gets taped in place. When you use that optional pack that Earl was talking about, a small pack like this, which, yeah, I'm not going to use that. So then it would interfere with being able to place a pack going this way. So I guess I'm going to go with installing a pack the long way on this RC car. So we won't need this. That's why this piece is installed with tape. So obviously it doesn't pop out. So there we go. So I guess if I wanted to install that, which I think that's what I'm going to do, I don't have any short packs and I don't see a need for it. Unless somebody can tell me different of why I'd want to install a short pack. I'm just going to go ahead and put that little piece in there, I guess. I will tape it in there like they said. I got to find out where the tape is though. See attached tape. So the only thing I see is he got the chrome sticker here, the wheel stickers, which we're not using. That's not really tape. And then on the window cutout, this might be the tape they're talking about, but honestly, I can't see the cut lines. Because this is obviously for the windows, but I can't see. Yeah, I don't know. I can't see any cut lines on there. So I don't know what tape I'm going to use here. Maybe I should just super glue it in place. Oh, you'd glue it. There you go. What, going with the sideways pack? The only thing is gluing that in place, though, because it's two dissimilar flexible materials. Won't I have issue with that if I glue it? It doesn't look like it doesn't even like really fit right. You know, I have aluminum tape. Maybe I should just get that. So this stuff right here, this is my aluminum tape, my 3M aluminum tape for ductwork. And this stuff is awesome. You want to talk about being able to stick something on? This stuff is ruthless when you try to take it off. So this is almost like having a permanent tape. So I'm just going to cut a straight piece off of here. And I'm just going to use this to go ahead and affix that into place. I always do the peel back method when using this stuff. So I think that'll work. Probably isn't what they were telling you to use, but that's where I'm veering off of, I guess, this kit build. I'm not sure where the tape is. It's probably on here somewhere, but for the life of me, I cannot see the die cuts. I can see the die cuts on the sides, and it definitely looks like there might be something in this center section, which would make sense probably for the clear front windshield, and this thing does have a sunroof. But I just can't see where the tape is on this thing. So it looks like there might have been like a little die cut piece right here that was for that. But I think I'm happy with this tape anyway, so I don't know. It looks all right. Good to go. So now we can go ahead and install, I think, this piece. Got a couple of screw holes back there. Put our stickers back so they don't get ruined. All right. So now we took care of that, which was just using the tape. We installed this forward section just so that we obviously had place for the either the ESC, but it looks like for the receiver to be able to have the receiver sit inside of something, which, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do here. We forego on that piece right there. We decided not to go ahead and do that because I'm going to put a pack going sideways instead of down the center. Down the center, we probably give it more, I guess, I don't know. I don't know what the point of that would be. Earl was saying that it's for a special pack, a shorty pack, but I just have regular packs anyway. So now they want you to install little O-rings on the top of these little things here, which looks like then gets maybe a body clip. And then taking this tray, putting the tray down and over, using round head screws and two little washers, which look like a probably plastic. And they actually have like a, you can see it specifically has a stepped piece. Which, how is that possible? And then obviously this bracket, which this bracket looks like it possibly has an antenna tube attached on the side there. Which is off of this tree right here. So I need the little O-rings for that, which I don't remember seeing any. Oh, there we go. So this is another bag that we have to open here, which looks like it has antenna tube and some other parts in it. And did I just slice the O-ring out of here? Something fell out. Nope. That little stepped metal washer. So it looks like we got some bearings. That's obviously for the front wheel. And then that little shorty antenna tube, which obviously does go into here. So the little shorty antenna tube obviously goes into there. We also need, off of this tree, we need that piece right there, which I believe is the back body mount pin. And that goes into this piece. From underneath, goes up and through there. It's not saying how it's retained. Looks like it almost has like a little, looks like it snaps into place. Yeah, there we go. Just snaps right into place. Then we need those little O-rings. One for one side. The other one for the other side. Just press those down and on. Then it's got these little special aluminum stepped like spacers or washers. And it is showing on the instructions to face that stepped section down. It doesn't actually go into the hole, but it looks like it's just kind of leaving an odd space. So, yeah. All right. So now we can install the tray into position. It looks like we're missing screws somewhere. It's only 2 screws left. Those actually go all the way through? Let's see here. It's a round head screw, which it doesn't look like I can see that. So now I got on the search for missing screws. So far, this is what we've got for screws. There's nothing in this bag but bearings and looks like that's the servo rod. You got these 2 pieces. Nothing there. We do have the spare parts bag left over. And we got this, but there's no screws in there. So maybe inside the spare parts bag. Oh, it says open bag E. Did I already open a bag E? Oh, there we go. Bag E. I don't know why it is that I keep missing this portion right there. So I guess we do have the screws. Which one bag has, looks like 1 set screw, couple coarse thread screws, and a couple of those cap head screws, or not cap, but round head screws. And this one has cap head screws and flat with the taper. So this is the bag we need. All right. So we need these 2 long screws right here. We need these 2 stepped washers or shims. We need this piece. And this gets installed back here like this. So we're going to push these through for now. I'm just going to take this off temporarily. I'm going to put a drop of Loctite in this hole and in that hole. Now I'm going to put this back on. Put our washers on, or whatever you call them, shims, with that step facing that tray. Now it's going to take this bracket piece, stab it through the little washer things. And see if I can screw these down. Oops, I think I just lost one of the pieces. I think I just slipped it right off of the chassis. Put that into place. This is where the longer drivers would definitely come in handy, because I'm going to get down, I think, to the point of where I won't be able to turn this, because I think the roll bar is going to get in the way. I think. And that's when you start to strip stuff, because you'll end up stripping the Allen wrench. Because you're going to try to put it at an angle, and you don't want to put it at an angle, because that's when you'll ruin it. There we go. Oh, Earl, yeah. That would be no good, man, if all of a sudden stuff started happening again, because that is what they're talking about. All right, so let's see. Did I miss any steps? O-rings installed. Plate, piece. Made sure we opened up bag E like it said. Yeah, I think we're good. So now it's talking about installing the antenna, which not important right now. Installing some of the electronics, which we don't need to do right now. That's that rod. So inside of this bag is both the steering or servo to servo saver rod, which we could probably put that together, but there's kind of almost no sense because we don't have anything for a servo right at this moment. They do give you 3 different types of servo arms that give you a what's that? A 20, a 23, a 24, and a 25 tooth to go ahead and fit different servos. So I don't think we really need to. Well, you know what? Maybe I will install this because it looks like those clips for there maybe are in this bag as well. All right. So we've obviously got the wheel bearings. We've got these little tiny clips. I'm assuming these clips are for this right here or something. So it didn't say anything about installing these clips yet, but I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I'm not sure why. Maybe I just didn't see the step. I don't know, but that's obviously how that goes. We'll assemble that rod. So obviously this piece right here. And that looks like that's probably back bumper. I don't know what that is. There's a piece right there that is left on this tree. And then on this piece, it gives you obviously the 3 different servo horns, and then the rod ends, which will snip that little nub off. Let's clean it up with the knife real quick. There we go. All right. Lane, what's going on, guy? Noah Aldrich, what's happening, man? I'm just noticing a couple people are in here. Sorry, I didn't notice earlier. All right, so there we go. So obviously you know where this piece goes. Snaps onto there, which we're really limited on space here, but I'm just going to leave it off for now. We know where that goes. So now we are finished with that page, page 29. It was just doing that. And obviously we didn't do anything with page 28 because, well, we're not ready for it. So switch the page. Now they're talking about putting the servo horn on, obviously, and the steering rod. We're going to obviously skip that because, well, we don't have the servo yet. At least I haven't figured out what servo I'm going to use. Wheel decal, I am not putting the wheel decal on because, in my personal opinion, I actually like the way this looks better because it has that cast aluminum center look with the spun aluminum outside, and I think that, for me, that looks sharp, and I'm just going to leave it as is. Then obviously they want you to glue the wheels. The foam is actually already inside the tires. The tires and the wheels came already pre-mounted. They're just not glued, so you still have to glue the tires. And then for the front wheels, we'll be installing the bearings. So for now, we're going to skip all those pages because we don't need it. And I'm going to go right to installing the bearings inside the wheels for the front, which is obviously an inner bearing and an outer bearing. One thing that I already see is that the way they installed these tires is you have a front side and a back side. So the front side, the way it's pre-installed, is a smooth wheel. But I am that old school look, or I am that old school whatever the word is I'm looking for. And this side actually has the writing. So we can go ahead and peel these off. And then I want to be able to actually see the writing, the lettering. Same thing with the front. Boy, that almost. Nah, I almost thought it gave you a secondary look. But it would change, obviously, the way the offset was. So we're going to just keep it factory. Now, in the front tires, there is no foam because I don't believe you would need it anyway with this style. But obviously, once you get to a more cushier, I guess, tire like this, maybe the change in compound, but they still have that yellow dot. And I guess that has something to do with the compound of the tires. But I just want the lettering facing the outside of the wheel. That's the only reason why I'm just dismounting them real quick. And installing the bearings, just very easy. They just slip into place. Inner bearing, outer bearing. Go ahead and install it right on the axle. That's nice. So usually what I do too, though, when it comes to a shaft and a bearing, this isn't what everybody likes, but this is just what I do. I'm just going to put just a little bit of lube on there. Now you've got the nylock nuts, the larger nylock nuts, to go ahead and install those wheels. I think Colby could hear you. Same thing on this tire. Inner bearing. Outer bearing. Just a little bit of lube on that shaft. That's nice. So like we did the same thing on that rear, do the same thing on this rear. Let's pop that rim out. Throw it back in, other way. Now on the rear, obviously I'm not going to put any oil on the axle because with the way these axles are, and technically there really is no hub hex with it. So these wheels rely on pressure. And that's also something that, you know, kind of becomes an issue because, you know, you can only take these wheels, put them on and take them off just so many times before you really start, I think, destroying the plastic. It does have a knurl on here, which is on this piece right there that's obviously installed and Loctited. But when you install these wheels, it relies on the pressure of these nylocks to keep them in place. So, yeah. So something like this, if I was going to put something that was a real high-powered, high-torque motor, obviously the chances of stripping this out becomes hugely increased. So we'd end up having dual slipper clutches. No, I'm sorry. We'd have a triple slipper. So I'm just going to install these just till they tighten down. Oh, see, that's the other thing that's going to drive me nuts. Because you got to figure a way to somehow grab this so you can install these nuts. So you need like a little wrench or something to grab a hold of the shaft to stop it from turning when you install these. Still a cool design when you think about it. You know, years back, they weren't talking about, you know, all the high torque motors that we have now or high speed stuff that we have now. Triple clutch, you know it. Triple slipper. So it's not like you can turn these opposing either and think you can turn, you know, one side one way and the other side the other way, because obviously it has a diff. It's still cool though. It definitely is still cool. You just gotta, I don't know, figure a way to be able to tighten these things. Maybe go ahead and grab like, I don't know, a needle nose and grab a hold of the actual hub or jam something inside so that you can stop it from spinning. Right now, what I'll do is I'll just use a pair of needle nose and just get it kind of tightened down. That way it's just kind of tightened in place. Not going to crank it. Just going to put it, you know, just so that it's, you know, staying on. It doesn't slip off. Turn that one right about there. Go ahead and grab it. Whoops. I'm just grabbing the cup with needle nose. Just so I can tighten it. It's not cranking it either. I'm just not, it's just kind of just putting it in place for now, you know? So there we go. We still have parts left over, but the main part of this vehicle is assembled. We're built. Definitely, like, it brings back, I guess, the old tech and how things actually did work. I mean, when this suspension actuates, I mean, look what happens to the front suspension. You know what I mean? It's definitely a different way of how they used to do suspension years ago. You could see how far back the wheels actually kick back. And look, because I'm keeping the chassis static, but look at how much those wheels move. I don't know. It's cool though. You know what I mean? It still has that cool factor to it. You know, and here's the rear. Here's the way the rear functions. The rear pretty much stays right in line, which is nice. You know? The rear is a, you know, pretty good design. The front is definitely funky. You know? It definitely does have that just cool look though. I mean, look at that thing. You know? Yeah, maybe like that. That's sharp. You know? Obviously, that's funny too. When the wheel is turned all the way to the right or the left, look at this front wheel. Look at how this wheel is actually off the ground. You know? Boy, is that funny how things were back then. You know, same thing. Turn it all the way the other way. Look at how much slip there is on that wheel. But I suppose it would be in a front diving turn anyway. So I don't know. Maybe that makes sense. All right, so we're done obviously with this right here. Oh, look at that. So they actually show you installing an Allen wrench into that, just lost the name for it, into the cup to be able to tighten the bolt. So then obviously the next steps were to paint the body, which we're not going to do because I've got to somehow source the right color paint that I'm looking for, masking all the windows off, washing the body, obviously, everything that we already know how to do, and then applying stickers, like if you wanted to, apply stickers, building the guy, painting the guy, stuff that we're not going to bother with right now. And then installing the guy onto the actual tray, which I guess he's what keeps the electronics dry. So, yeah, I don't think we're going to be installing the guy because if I don't know, does that ESC have a fan on it? I think that little ESC has a fan on it, so that could become an issue. So we're not going to bother with that. Shows you how to install, obviously, the battery pack. I guess depending upon how you did it. Yeah. Whether you went with that, little shorty pack that Earl was talking about, or if we went with the sideways pack. And then on this page, talks about, I guess, installing the lights into the body. So again, this is a portion that we kind of can't do. One thing that I did notice, so I had noticed this beforehand, before even, because it doesn't show anything on the kit, on the box. But when I got a visual of this bag right here, which obviously had the head for the, the helmet for the guy, or the head, I saw that it looked as though you could electrify these lights. And right here shows you point blank, you can electrify those top lights right there. Shows installing, which looks like, I think that's exhaust. I think it's like a fake, like buggy style exhaust. Yeah, that's exactly what that is. You could probably put lights in that as real lights. And single body clip on the back, single body clip on the front. So let's see. This kit's basically done. And obviously this kit took longer to do just because of, explaining things and, not paying attention to certain stuff like I did or I didn't do. So we've got that body clip right there. Got another body clip on the back, which in this parts tray, these are just some of the extra parts that we ended up with because we're not done. Another little body pin. Now this one looks like it's a pain in the neck. Look at yeah. Check that out. That's a pain in the neck one in there. But I think I'd like to see somehow to maybe install a wing on this because I feel like this car deserves some kind of a wing. I think it would look nice. Some kind of a wing on there. So there you go. So it's basically almost fully assembled. Anyways, yeah, using crappy tools. Oh. All right, so that's where this, that's kind of where this live, I guess, is going to stop. is right here because we did effectively finish building this Kyosho Tomahawk. I probably will do a video just electrifying it, but I don't see why it's going to be a live. I'll probably just do a video. Who knows? Maybe I will do a live. I just got to figure out what I'm going to do as far as paint. Maybe Earl has some suggestions because Earl seems to, have a pretty good relationship with the hobby shops that he's got around him. Other than that, what I am looking for is I am looking for Corvette Summer, like heavy metal flake. And in my mind, what I wanted to do, which probably isn't going to happen because most likely they don't have it, but too bad they didn't have, I haven't looked into it, but too bad they didn't have like that, I just gotta close this. The light on my face is too much. Is that better? Yeah, I think that's better. In my mind, what I'm seeing is I'm seeing like either like a gold, but do you remember like Earl, if you're still here, are you still here, Earl? You're probably not even here. Well, anyways, maybe you are. You remember those old paint jobs where literally the metal flake was multiple different colors? So you would get the glistening of the different colors of metal flake that was in the paint along with sometimes the actual paint color. Well, one of the things that I thought about was they had that, I think it was called like hypercolor or something. So what I'm wondering is do they have that, that paint? It's not a hypercolor. I know it's not a hypercolor, but it's the paint that they have that depending upon the angle of how you're viewing it, it may be one solid color, but because of the angle, the color changes. Now, if they had that kind of paint in a nice heavy metal flake, that's kind of what I'm looking for this car right here. So I'll obviously have to probably, do some research, which I'm sure you all know I hate. I hate reading. I hate research. That's why obviously I messed up on, some of these stupid, things here. A very easy kit build. I forced myself to use the included tools. And even though we're not done, it seems like these Allen wrenches actually are of good quality. So it's just, trying to run things in, you're better off using like a set, something that has real handles, not actually using L wrenches, because that's what these are called. These are called L wrenches, and L wrenches, yeah. Especially like trying to use this one right here, which this is the one that was, this one. This is the one that was used the most, and man, it's not stripping. It actually, I think is all right. I think maybe the coating is just starting to come off, like the edge of one of them. And like I said, anytime so far, I'm just using these Harbor Freight little tools that I got from Harbor Freight that time. It came with a nice long needle nose, short needle nose that actually has gripping teeth. Came with nippers. Came with a flat, like duckbill, I think they call these, needle nose, which work great. These snips are okay. They're great for cutting zippy ties. That's what I call them. But when you go to cut like heavy gauge stuff, don't waste your time trying to cut the heavy gauge stuff, because these are just you're gonna flex the handles before you cut all the way through, like heavy gauge wires. Like some of the larger scales RCs use obviously a much thicker gauge wiring, and yeah, these aren't good for that. It also came with these 45-degree needle nose, which these are nice too. They're smooth jawed. I think I probably would have liked to seen, a grip on the tips. That I probably would have, appreciated that more, but it's fine. It does the job. I've used these a bunch of times because of the angle. Yeah, that's about it. We right now we're just wrapping it up on this live stream. This live stream went for how long? I got to look behind. So this live stream went for 3 hours. So we're at 2 hours and 56 minutes. So that means that this kit took me, how many hours was the live stream yesterday? Was the live stream yesterday like 4 hours? So this took me 7 hours, 7 hours to build this? It's not a 7-hour build. Obviously, there's distraction. Talking takes a big part of it. Going backwards in the steps because I had forgot about those shock things. And literally this morning when I woke up, I envisioned those little pieces, which right here. So I envisioned that little bag, and I'm thinking to myself, what the heck was that for? It had to have been for something. And then I just realized, I'm like, oh my God, it's for the shocks. And then I came down and I verified the fact that I had actually not installed the seal, which they weren't leaking, but maybe over time they possibly would have leaked. There definitely was plenty of shock oil in here. There's still plenty more left. It looks like, depending upon how this bottle was filled, we still have half a bottle of this 25 weight shock oil. It actually did come with Loctite, and I didn't even know it came with Loctite because I didn't see anything that said Loctite this. I just knew that it had another bottle of something, but because of the way it was in the bag, the wording was covered, so it was in the bag like this. So even if you flipped the main bag over, you couldn't see the writing. And I just saw it, and I was just like, oh, some kind of blue oil. But obviously it wasn't a blue oil. But that's also why I've got this right here. People, they're like, dude, why'd you get such a huge... Because I don't just use it for this stuff. I use it for automotive, too. So I need the big bottle. What else? Yes, we broke out the chef knife. So I'm sure Chef Beardsley appreciated seeing this throughout the build to remind him that he's going to work tomorrow. I thought I was talking to you yesterday, Guy. You were gone. I didn't even realize you were gone. What else? I don't know. This, other than when I finally electrify it and take it for a ride, I do have to say this definitely is, it is one sharp RC. I'm trying to get it like in the frame. I mean, look at that thing. This thing just has a certain, see, I got to look behind. This thing just has a certain look to it. You know what I mean? It's sharp. It's that old nostalgia buggy kind of look. I definitely want to figure out putting a wing on it. Almost just dropped it. I definitely want to figure out putting a wing on it because I think that will finish up that rear end. Give it, kind of that, real buggy look that I like, with a wing. I don't know if I'll hard mount the wing or if I'll put it on the wires like they used to have. If I did it on the wires, what I am noticing is through this back part of the chassis or on this piece right here, you can see those holes right there. So it's almost as if maybe you could possibly put a wing in that position because that looks like where the wing would sit. You know what I mean? I don't think you could hard mount a wing on there. Maybe I could figure out something. I don't know. Either way, the wing would have to be removable because of, the way this plastic is. Unless I just cut the body off like right there and just, left the back half of the engine, the the transmission and the motor and stuff exposed. I don't know. But I mean, it definitely is a cool little buggy. It overall, I think it was kind of fun to build, but these, not the ears, that doesn't matter. My eyes, obviously, you know, wearing glasses, that's something that has changed. I don't know. There's no reason to keep going. Larry Mitchell, guy. You're an animal guy. Holy smokes, dude. CCXRC, what's going on, guy? Finally kind of finished the this build. I like it. You know? It's solid. It has a nice solid feel to it. You know, I mean, look at that. Look at that underneath, man. It just has that cool look to it. You know what I mean? So we'll work on figuring out how to electrify that. I won't put initially I thought I was going to turn this into like a drag car. But the wheels definitely, they're not going to hold out. You can tell by the way the transmission is it's not going to be a drag car like I was kind of hoping it would. I'd have to change out the transmission out of it, and then I'd have to change out the axle because with the way these old wheels went on, there's no pin, there's no hex. It literally relies on the knurl and pressure, and that's not good for high horsepower. So I don't know. Maybe Earl can give me some ideas on this. I don't know. I basically have to change everything on this rear end, I think, in order to make it something that was usable, that I could turn it into like some type of a drag car. It was just a random thought in my head. I saw putting slicks on the back. I saw lowering it a little bit. You know what I mean? I saw stuff, but obviously this platform, it's not designed for that. But anything could be modded, right? It just takes a little bit of time, takes a little bit of money. I could definitely get some more aluminum, drill holes, bolt stuff together, elongate this chassis. You know, there are options. I just don't know if I want to go through. I don't know if I want to go through the whole R&D of that. But anyways, like I said, I keep trying to end this live. But let's see. I'm just going to read the comments real quick, see what's going on here. I'll unplug this thing. So we've got Larry Mitchell, who gave me a super chat. I definitely appreciate that guy very much. It's definitely going to go towards parts. Chef Beardsley is here. Earl Moorhead's here. Shop Mint, totally awesome. Oh no, Shop guy. Yep. Super Shop. Totally mint. That's right. He's got it. It's totally mint. Yeah. Yeah, the wing would need a hard mount. Yeah, probably, right? I'm trying to get that glare out of there. What else? Amped, what's going on, guy? I didn't even see you here. I'm sorry about that. Damn, Mark, messing with the YouTube time. Life of Coach, what's going on, man? Yeah, so I don't know. Obviously, I can't go. Normally it's a 4 to 5 hour build. Yeah, I could see that. To be honest with you, I could see it definitely being shorter than that. If you're using the proper tools, like real tools that you already have, I could definitely see this being like way faster than that. I mean, we're talking like, my guess to build this kit, I'm thinking, no distractions and having every tool that you would probably need to have, like, I don't know, like a 2 hour build, just over 2 hours would probably be about right. That's my guess. I don't see it really taking that long because, once you put your head to it, you've got no distractions. Nothing's going to stop you from, putting this together, I mean, look at it. That thing's sharp. Wicked sharp. Sharp. It's wicked sharp. But I gotta do like a It actually looks like a good picture. I wish I could take a picture of that right now. But anyways, all right. I'm just going to end the live where we are. Everybody that came to this live stream, thank you very much for coming to this live. Like I keep saying, if you're not a subscriber, go ahead, like what some people say. Subscribe to the channel is free. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Only reason why I keep trying to say this is because even I myself forget. So you'll get into somebody's live or you'll watch a video and then before you know it, the video's over and it's either on to the next video or you forget to throw it a thumbs up or throw it a thumbs down. I don't want any of those, but if you feel inclined that you got to give me a thumbs down, that's your prerogative. Definitely, doing these lives, it's hard to respond to people. That's why it's awesome that Chef was here, why Gus was here. I don't think Mets popped in. But, it's nice that people can help out, in like a stream like that because they'll answer questions. Like how Chef did was obviously he put my name to something and it showed up red, which caught the corner of my eye. I was like, oh. So like if you're trying to get somebody's attention, if you do that little it's the @ symbol, right? Yeah. If you do the little @ symbol, and I think if you type out their name or something, I'm pretty sure what that does, at least for me, it shows up in red. So it catches your eye and if you're being distracted, like obviously I was, because I don't like ignoring people. It's not what I like. Like even with my regular videos, I really try to respond to literally everything. Even if somebody's negative, I'll still respond. And I'll try to turn the comment around and, just go something like, hey, thanks for the positive thinking or whatever. We all, like I say, we all have to live on this planet. Obviously, right now we're living through, that's why I've titled this COVID and Coffee, because we're all in this whole planet living through something that, like what my son had brought to my attention. This is literal history right now, which is nuts. It's not necessarily a good history, although if people are on that positive side, you can turn something that's like this, you can give it a little bit of a positive spin. Like one of the things that I had thought about, obviously before all the deaths, were happening, was I had said to myself, with the way it's going to affect the economy, it's going to give the planet time to breathe from us pounding on it day after day. Because we're beating this planet, to nothing. And I'm not getting on some political thing. That's all my channel is. But I think something came out that point blank said with all the, less pollution stuff that's happening just from us living, the earth is like not recuperating, but you're seeing some changes, positive environmental effects. Areas like especially in Italy. Italy has been hugely hit by this, obviously because of the older community and how them Italians live. It's all about family, and I'm actually Italian. I'm an Ital, so I know what it is, as far as that, family thing. So their community, obviously, the Italian, Italy, whatever, was hit pretty hard, but they also showed like the waterways. So never has it ever been this clear, I guess, in those channels to be able to see like to the bottom. Different areas, around the planet, I guess, because there's so much less commotion in the water. The water is clearing. The silt is settling. So you're seeing things like that you've never been able to see before. And I think that that's pretty cool. My wife said, it would be kind of cool. Too bad there wasn't a way for 1 month every year for this, not the deaths, but for things to be basically just stopped. Like, obviously we could prepare for it, but, less traffic, obviously certain things need to keep going, but it would be kind of different to have that like pause. You know what I mean? A whole month, just everybody gets a chance to just pause relax, maybe without the stress that people are having, because obviously people are stressed out because of money and job loss and all the craziness. Is it still going?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just wasn't sure because I'm monologuing right now. But I guess I'm done talking.
Oh, you got me monologuing.
You got me monologuing. That's what I get that from. I totally get that from that. That's from
Incredible.
The Incredibles. You got me monologuing. I love that. That's a great movie. Anyways, all right. So I'm just going to get out of here because you don't need to hear me babbling. But Sergeant J is here. What's going on, guy? Who else is here? Marcus Kingtree. What's going on, guy? Good morning. Larry Mitchell's here. Amped. Life of Coach. Ping, what's going on, man? Chainsaw is still here. Yeah, so, all right. There's still like 17 people here. So like I said, on your way out, just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Share the channel if you like the comment. Share the channel if you like the content or not, whatever. All it does is just grow the channel. We broke over, I don't know if you know this or not, the channel actually broke over 1,000. Over 3,000 subscribers like overnight when all the power was out. So that to me is insane. And how I know that was the first thing that I woke up to this morning was YouTube sent me an email. And with the way YouTube works, like as your subscriber base grows, as your content gets more shared, obviously it's a natural, thing where it grows, but YouTube unlocks these like Easter eggs, I guess you want to call them, for your channel. And a couple of things were unlocked last night, or they saw this morning, which is, it's just kind of cool. You know what I mean? It shows that at least hopefully what you're putting out there is of some kind of interest. Whether you're laughing at me or laughing with me or whatever, it doesn't matter. We're just all out here to try to live life to its fullest. I know some people can't do that. I know some people gets cut short, and it's sad that, stuff like that happens. But, yeah, I don't have anything else to say, and you guys are probably happy about that. So I'm going to end this live stream right where we are. I'll throw the Kyosho Tomahawk right in your face in case you want to take like a screenshot. Here you go. Here you go, guy. This thing is wicked pissa. So I'm just going to end this live stream right where it is right here. I do want to, like I said, almost dropped it again. I do want to electrify this thing. I think it would be fun just to rip it around. But I'm realizing in its stock configuration, it cannot do what I was hoping. I was hoping to turn it into a drag car, but I don't. I think I'd have to heavily modify some stuff towards the back end. And who knows? Maybe we will. I don't know. Just got to talk to some drag car people. And, obviously because this is aluminum chassis, I think we'll be good to go. Just attach some side rails, extend out the suspension in the rear a little bit, get it a little bit longer. Throw some foams on the back or something. Nice high grip tire. And rip this thing. But I will electrify it. That'll be another video. I will paint it up. I don't think that's going to be a video. We all know how to paint stuff. But I am looking for that special paint. If anybody knows where I can get that, by all means, throw me like a comment or something. But yeah, I'm just going to end it where it is. And thank you to everybody that came to this live stream. Have a good day. If it's nice out, go enjoy that fresh air because this is probably some of the freshest air that we've had in years. So I'm out. So do I want to end the live stream? Yes, I do. Everyone, thank you for coming. We'll see you later.